Welcome to Community Conversations. I'm Frederick County Executive Jan Gardner, and today I have as my guest someone new, but someone you may know, Kathy Shea, who's our new Director of the Senior Services Division. Welcome, Kathy.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Well, it's nice to have you on the show to introduce you a little bit to our viewers. Now, just so everybody knows, we've just stood up a new Seniors Services Division, which came out of our Seniors First initiative to really focus on that growing population of seniors we have here in Frederick County. And of course, I think we have an opportunity to engage our active seniors and to take them all the way through to their senior years when they may need a little more support services.
Absolutely.
So you're the first division director for our new Senior Services Division. So why don't you start off by telling people a little bit about who you are and what your background is?
Well, my background is rather diverse, but the things that are most important is that I've been in the senior services aging divisions for a major portion of my career. So I have a lot of professional experiences in not only Frederick County, but other counties as well. So it's always been a tremendous area of interest for me. I also received a master's degree from UMBC in Management of Aging Services. So I've got the professional and then the education. But near and dear to my heart is I also have the personal experience in that my parents, one had Alzheimer's, one had dementia, and we did like so many caregivers where you managed from a distance, and then they came to live with me for quite some time. And the whole experience was about 10 years long with the both of them, but I certainly understand from that perspective the challenges of the sandwich generation and all that that brings. So I feel like I have a full set of experience there from personal to professional and education, but it all comes together in this very moment, and I couldn't be more excited.
Well, we're certainly excited to have you heading up Senior Services. And so can you tell us a little bit about what ideas you have and what the new division may do?
Well, this is truly an exciting time for Frederick County because having that vision that we do know that the number of seniors is burgeoning, but we also know that the longevity is increasing as well. So we've got so much going on at one time. So thinking about it kind of in advance and being able to prepare and plan for that is really mission critical to this. So I applaud all those who have put so much work into the Senior First initiative because here we go. So I couldn't be more excited because the Department of Aging, the former Department of Aging, is just filled with, brimming with the best that I think the state has to offer in terms of individuals who know so much about the programs and resources that are available, committed, passionate group of individuals. So starting with a great team is just so important, and we have that here in Frederick County.
We do. We're very fortunate to have that.
Dare I say the best team ever, but very much so. They're all that and then some. So building on that and looking at matching that with the Seniors First initiative in terms of really looking at a 360 approach to aging. Because we go in and out of seasons of life in terms of I may need some assistance if I break my elbow. But that's just a moment in time for me because the rest of me still functions. I still want to pursue education. I still want to pursue activities. And to create a model, a framework, infrastructure that supports a 360 approach to aging, that couldn't get more exciting. And so we're just beginning how to unpack that and to create it. But well done for putting it on the agenda because this is mission critical.
Well, a couple of years ago, I appointed a group of individuals who are all volunteers to really come up with recommendations out of the Seniors First initiative. And of course, one of the first things they recommended was that we, elevate to division level our support services for seniors. And we do think by 2020, which is only 2 years from now, that we're going to have as many people defined as seniors as we do children in our school system. And so it's going to change the kinds of services people want and how people want to live. And I think there's a lot of opportunities there. We often think about aging and services to aging as Meals on Wheels and some of those traditional services that we provide to people so they can stay in their home and age in place. So we do want to continue to do that.
Absolutely.
But I think we have an opportunity to really engage active seniors in our community. community, whether it's in meaningful volunteer service, in work, part-time or full-time. People want to pursue degrees because I think there's somebody out there with a life experience, work experience, expertise and knowledge to solve any community problem that we face. And we just need to link those things together.
I agree. As I've been out in the community talking to people, I think that's what I've heard overwhelmingly, that, let's engage the Encore entrepreneurs. Let's talk about the workforce growing older, but being able to utilize them in meaningful ways. I met a gentleman who has a business. He's 75 years old, has a relatively new business, and very much interested, so what are you going to do for me? And I'm like, well, I look to be able to help you gain employees if you need them. I look to be able to help you stay healthy and active in the community. And it ended up being quite an exciting conversation, because I think there are plenty of those individuals out there who really want to be engaged and have rich histories. And putting that to work for social good is exciting and dynamic. And I can't wait to see that happen, because that's what I want to be doing. And I think a lot of us feel the same way.
Well, I think our Department of Aging, as you mentioned, has really been the go-to place for people who want to get information about Medicare or other kinds of resources and services that are out there. And a lot of those programs can be very complicated, particularly when people are signing up for them the first time. And so I think, we have that down. Obviously, we have more demand for that kind of service. But how do you see us championing the needs of this growing population of seniors and really trying to crack the code for these new opportunities?
I think part of what I most enjoy is really talking to people and listening to them in terms of how they identify as aging. So oftentimes people, well, no, I'm not 60, or no, I'm not this, but how to really redefine and change the narrative, because we have an opportunity here to really create what we want the future to look like. And speaking to people, they're very much interested in the continuing education, very much interested in continuing to be employed, some for desire and some because they really need to. So creating those vehicles to allow them to continue to contribute in huge, meaningful ways, whether it's being employed, whether it's volunteer, whether it's going back to school, whether it's becoming a mentor or a tutor. So many opportunities exist, and be able to develop the conduits through which that can happen is what's, I think, going to be transformational. So I can't be more excited about it.
Yeah, I think it's a very exciting opportunity, and I really want people to think of our Senior Services Division for all the things they're going to do, not just as for support services and those traditional services. So I think we have some marketing and messaging to do in that regard. And I think we really have to collect the data that's out there. I think it's important so we make good decisions and use our resources well. Something we haven't necessarily always done as well as we could or should have. But we do have great staff, and so I do think people are open to thinking outside the box, so to speak, and really meeting the need of this growing population.
I think so. I think there's growing momentum in terms of what can be and what we can do, and seeing people's eyes light up about, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of building that. I want to be a part of utilizing that. And here we go.
So do you have any, I know you've only been on the job here for a couple of days, and I'm glad to see you've come back to work, but do you have any personal ideas or priorities at this point in time for things that you want to start with first?
I think my starting is to honor all the work that's come this far, and to really appreciate that, because that was no small thing. A lot of great market research was done. So taking a moment to honor that, getting up to speed, listening to what people are saying, and then really building for the future. And that does, as you say, we want to bring those who certainly need support to be able to have independence in their own home, but really looking at the individuals who want to be engaged in a different way and different levels. So really going out and talking to people, listening to what they're saying. We certainly have the wonderful needs assessment, so we know those things, the transportation and housing and employment, those kinds of things, and then looking at how to really build for some solutions to those, and really engaging the Encore entrepreneurs to be part of that discussion. So not done in isolation, but done in community to come with the best ideas.
Because transportation is certainly one of those key issues, particularly in the more rural parts of our community.
Absolutely.
And we want to make sure we engage all those people. We certainly know isolation is a problem for people who are aging. And so to keep people engaged, they have to be able to get to wherever those events or activities may be. So.
Absolutely, and there's some great IT ideas that I think that we can harness, and I've been reading a lot about that, so I can't wait to engage the county in that way.
Well, that sounds very interesting. So if people want to get more information about senior services and the division and just what we offer in the county, how can they go about getting that?
Many ways. One is certainly if you have access to the internet, getting on the website, because there you can at least see a menu of activities and options and services that are available. Certainly coming into the Division of Senior Services at this point on Tawney Avenue and getting as much literature and information in person as you possibly can and getting connected. And that's a great launch start.
Very good. Well, I do want to encourage people to continue to come out to our senior centers all around the county and to let us know what you're interested in, because we're certainly open to volunteers who want to volunteer for traditional service like Meals on Wheels. We can always use that kind of help. But also people want to volunteer their ideas to move the Seniors First initiative forward.
Absolutely.
So, well, thank you. I'm very excited to have you on board.
Me too.
And I look forward to leading the team on to great things.
You bet.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us today. We're very excited about standing up our new Senior Services Division. So if you're a senior, which the federal government actually defines as people over the age of 60, find out what Frederick County has to offer to you. Thank you for joining us.